Hi, I'm Ken Miller with the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I'm here with Carolina Ray with C-Ray Performance, and we're here to show you a balance routine. Now, it's not every day that we do something for our workouts when it comes to standing on one leg, but it is important to keep those hips nice and stable. So here are 5 exercises that you can do in a closed space that'll help you improve your balance. Now, the first thing we're going to do is a single leg balance with a rotation. So Carolina is just going to stand there, hip, knee, and toe in line. She's going to bring the knee up about hip height, and keeping this left leg or her stance leg nice and stable, she's going to stand, and she's just going to go ahead and rotate that hip out and back in. So everything that she can do to keep that hip level, shoulders level, abs nice and tight, she's just going to explore that range of motion that she can control as she comes out and comes back in. So she can do this for repetitions, 10 repetitions, 8 repetitions, or she can go 4 times. So if you set the clock 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and then you can switch legs. All right, perfect. Now the next exercise we're going to do is the same single leg balance, but instead of moving the hip, we're going to focus on rotating at the spine. So balancing, she's got a nice athletic position between the ankle, the knee, and the hips. She is flexed at the hip. She's got a little bit of a pitch forward. Abs are going to be nice and tight. Now what I'm going to instruct Caroline to do is find a spot about 8 feet in front of her, and that's where she's going to aim her nose and chin. Keeping her head nice and stable, she is now going to rotate, alternating sides, as those hands actually try to reach over, and you can reach a little bit more, and try to actually point at where she's aiming her nose. So she's nice and controlled here, great alignment. She's keeping the same angle at the spine, which is great for core work, but even more importantly for our purpose of balance is really challenging that right hip. How's that right hip feeling?
Nice and fiery.
There you go, it's all nice and fiery. So again, if I'm watching her, hip, knee, and toe in line, hips are level, shoulders level, big extension, big reach, head nice and level, and again, this is working on some neck rotation, which is also a great thing to do, especially if you're stuck behind the computer, because now her shoulders are rotating under her head. All right, perfect. Awesome. Now we're going to get a little bit more movement in here, but again, while we're still standing on that one leg. So instead of her just holding position, she is now going to do a single leg squat. So as she stands there, hands on the hips, shoulders are level. So this is even better if you have a mirror. So if you have a mirror, now you can watch your shoulders, watch your hips. And when I say watch your hips, you can watch the hands and see that the hands stay level. So it's not like your hip drops and one hand falls below the other. So as she squats, she's going to squat as far as she can with control, shoulders, hips level. Now looking at that hip, knee, and toe, she is going hip, knee, and toe in line, so that knee, and for most people, that knee is going to want to cave in or buckle in. Her number one job is to keep that knee right between the hip and the toe. And again, that's for safety. Okay, we don't want to put any undue stress on that knee or the hip or the ankle, but also for effectiveness. So if we really want to work on those glutes, the glutes actually controls that knee from caving in. So if she does a better job of keeping those hip, knee, and toes in line, she's going to challenge the hips that much more effectively. Now the last point I want to bring up here is you'll notice that she's keeping those 2 feet, one right next to the other. And we'll get one more. I know that foot's probably burning a little bit. So she's keeping those feet right next to each other, and go ahead and relax. So that foot doesn't touch the other foot and it doesn't touch the ground. Now for clients that are still progressively working on their balance and that single leg squat is a little challenging, I don't mind a little bit of a toe tap. So one cue I might give my clients, or one cue you might use for yourself, is if you imagine that there are quail eggs under your foot, right? It's okay to tap, but you also don't want to crush the quail egg. All right? So the next one we're going to do as we progress, again from balance to the squat, is now going into a side lunge to balance. So from here, she's going to do a side lunge. So she's going to step out, her left leg is going to be nice and extended as she lunges through that right knee. She's gonna come up, balance for a couple seconds, and go ahead and lunge a little bit farther out. She's got a good angle on her trunk and her spine, and what I'm looking at for that is that spine and that shin are about the same angle, so she's not leaning too far forward and she's not vertical, which in either one of those positions you can put too much stress on the low back, maybe even too much stress on the knee. So I want to share that load as she lunges, hip, knee, and toe, in line, torso, shin angle are both parallel. Great control. She slows herself as she hits the ground. Here, nice and slow and controlled. A little bit of a pause. Nice, strong step up. It's okay to catch yourself, balance for a couple, and relax. Now we can vary this. We can add a little bit more tension or add a little bit more upper body resistance by going into a prisoner position. So go ahead, Caroline, let's go ahead and show this one. Great alternative progression, if you will. So as she has her hands behind her head, we're actually using a lot of these upper back muscles. Right here, perfect. And up and balance. Relax. Now the last exercise we're going to do is going to be more of a power level balance exercise. Now with this is what we call a single leg march. So as you march, you have one arm and the opposite leg moving in synchrony to each other. So that left knee, right arm, right knee, left arm are going to move. So here we're going to add a balance component. So you might say hips to lips or cheek to cheek, but here as she balances, her right hand is by her right back pocket, and her left hand, same height as her cheek or her lips, right? So as she does this march, it's gonna be a nice, fast, explosive exchange right there. And as she moves, she's hitting the same position, same height with every knee drive. As her arms swing forward and backward, she's keeping the same amount of flexion to where, again, as her elbow's bent, her hand's gonna be right by her back pocket. Good elbow drive back. Now she's also doing something that's really great here is that she's keeping the same level. So she's not hopping up as she does that transition. She's keeping her head, shoulders nice and level and letting those limbs do all the work. And last one. And perfect. All right. So from a balance exercise, I've given you 3 different progressions on how to challenge balance. One from stabilization, the other to emphasize more strength with that single leg squat, and then a little bit of power where we are working on landing mechanics and good alternating exchange between the upper body and the lower body. So again, if you want to add a little mix, spice up your workout a little bit, focus on something that we don't traditionally do in the health and fitness industry by adding balance, you can add this as an accent to your workout. Maybe do it on an off day, and you take a little break from the computer or streaming TV, whatever you do, try it out, let us know what you think.